Thank you, guys. I am joined by Seraph, the Titan in the top lane himself. Congratulations on the 2-1 victory, man. Now, I want to ask you a little bit about your preparation coming into this game. Obviously, you guys recently formed as a team.
Well, we hadn't like not much for practice because when NB bought the seed for LCS, there is not much a free agent, so it's really difficult to find the jungler and AD carry. But we find the Proxy and Lord. I think they both are really good. Yeah.
Yeah, they performed very well over the course of this series. And now I want to know your opinion on your new teammates.
Well, it's like fourth team for me, but this team is perfect since my league. So I really love my teammates, and especially organization is insanely good. Yeah, I love Team EnVy.
Very good. We're looking to see how you guys perform. And now finally, you are arguably one of the best top laners in the league right now, up there with Darshan and Hanser. Are there any other people that you're looking forward to facing over the course of the split?
Well, some people, I think myself, I'm improved compared to 3 years ago because I practice all days. But I think I still need to for more improving. So I think I'm not top level right now. So I need to be more improved.
All right, well, we'll see if that happens. Seraph, thank you so much for that. Congratulations on the 2-1 victory. For now, though, we're going to send it over to Dash and everybody else to break that game down.
Thank you very much, Dom. Team EnVy going to be very happy to pull out the 2-1 against NRG, kicking off their LCS debut with a victory here on Friday, and much deserved, to be quite honest. But in breaking down not only this game but the series, I do kind of want to get your guys' opinion on the evolution of the series. Since we are getting an opportunity to see these best of threes, how do we see these teams develop within each of the games?
Yeah, and I absolutely love this one as just a prime example because game one, Vladimir is not picked or banned at all. Game two, it goes all the way to the last round for NRG where they pick it alongside Maokai. And then in the last game, NRG takes the gamble and it gets first picked by Team EnVy. And that's the adaptation there, is they go, oh, Vladimir is really high priority. It was very hard to deal with in game two. We need to take this away game one. And that's the thing, is if that had happened on the other side, they would have had to become a ban if that means Team EnVy was red side in the last game. So I love that in best of threes where people are getting the series meta.
Yeah, and in the vacuum of the final game as well, I do have to blame the picks and bans a little bit there because Vladimir was legitimately the first pick. And there wasn't a Vladimir counter pretty much anywhere in that team composition. They pick a passive mid laner and Gangplank. Lucian ganked the Vladimir for the 2 kills. That was the only way they were able to kill Seraph, and then they gave up objectives or major map pressure on the other side of the map the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, we're no strangers to throwing criticism at NRG for their lack of early game, right? Both in last split and this one. And here, again, didn't seem like they were doing themselves a ton of favors picking the likes of GP. Now, I mean, you look at Rek'Sai should be able to gank, and Maokai provides a fair amount of gank assistance, but Seraph played the early game under his own turret, able to last hit with that snap casting E. And so he was able to kind of skate through that early portion of the game where he may have been susceptible to any form of ganking, and then got to that power point where, well, Maokai's a Maokai. He's not going to beat a Vladimir in a 1v1.
Yeah, especially, it was really weird because the build that Seraph went for, he was just completely countering the damage profile of NRG. He's just stack armor. I have my Spirit Visage for you, Maokai. That's totally fine. And then he became unable to be dealt with by any 2 people. And then he just walks away from these things. He starts grouping up for fights. And I love that he's pulling so much pressure and drawing 2 people to him, because that's the Seraph that I know, is you have to answer him because he's going to split push until basically the sun goes down, and he's going to keep doing it until he ends the game. But if you send one person to deal with him and he does the damage check and he's going to win, then he's like, okay, you better send 2 people here. And the team is always doing something to capitalize on that. Regardless of what team Seraph has been on since the time he was on CLG, this is pretty much been the way he loves to play the game.
Now, before we move away from the Vladimir point, I do want to hit this one more time. I know we've been hitting it all night, but Executioner's Culling was talked about in the cast as well. I mean, more so because I think that, you mentioned evolution and of best of threes, but also of the meta itself, as we'll see it over these next couple weeks. And given the fact that even on 6-11 there weren't any changes going in on Vladimir. Vladimir's going to be around for a little while, so it's going to behoove the players to figure out how to deal with him sooner rather than later. And inhibiting his healing is one of the ways that you need to do it.
I want to see the right lane counters. I want to see what you can play against from the top lane, and even just having a damage distribution in your team composition that isn't all one type goes a long way in being able to kill those guys that can just repetitively heal over and over again.
Yeah, I also think we're going to see him a lot in the ban column.
Maybe, yeah, that's
because,
what happened a fair bit in Europe, too.
Yeah, I don't think that Zyra's going to be banned every game. I don't think Swain's going to be banned every game, right? I think that these are some target bans that came out here, as well as some things like Karma also made her way into there. So there's a lot of room to just put him into your bans, because as time goes on and like 6-11 hits, right, some people will be like, oh, maybe Kindred isn't as high up. Maybe Nidalee isn't high up. So you're going to be able to actually slot in some Vladimir bans later on.
With all that, let's close out the Vladimir talk with our player of the game announcement being
Was it Vladimir?
Seraph. Yeah, it's Vladimir. It might as well be. No, Seraph picking that up as he did kind of open up the map. We did see that his ability to pressure that top lane, drawing OQ up, I mean, that was huge.
And the whole series, like if we just look at the big scope of this, obviously this player of the game was for this game individually, but Seraph did destroy Quas in all 3 games. He got to play against Maokai 3 times in a row, and even just recognizing that throughout the series, that Quas was not on his game, that he was making poor initiations. You pick a scaling laner against him like Vladimir, Seraph is going to have a good time, and it just played out exactly like that in the final game.
Exactly. Seraph found that his lane opponent was not up to snuff, and he's just going to keep pushing down that lane. That's what happened when he's in Challenger, too, because there's a lot of Challenger top laners that can't hold up to him. So this is not unfamiliar territory for him. He went 4-4 and 17. Quas went 0-11 and 20. Had really bad engages pretty much the entire series, and Seraph capitalized on all of that.
All right.
0 kills in 3 games, not good. I just want to touch really quickly
Yeah.
on how this is actually very promising for EnVy as well. As Seraph just said, they had to put the team together super late, and they get the series win, but not just the fact that they get the series win. The game they lost was 65 minutes long in game 2. Like, these were 3 games in which they had control of them for the majority against an organization who went to the playoffs last split. So that's a great start for EnVy.
Well, you answered my question before I asked it. That's where I was going to go next, was to ask you, with 3 games of evidence, what are our thoughts on EnVy? Do you have anything to add with that team? Otherwise, I'm going to throw NRG your way and ask you for your kind of assessment on NRG 3 games in.
For EnVy, I really like them. I've always been a big fan of Seraph and the way that he plays the game, and I've seen him improve, because a lot of people talk like, oh, I've improved. He's had consistent improvement in that top lane, where I've said it at the start of this, where I think he's top 3, top 4 top laner in the league right now. And with his shot calling, because I think he has a really good macro game strategy and really good instincts for that this is a team that can go to the playoffs. I think they have playoff potential in them, even if they think that they've been like thrown together the last second there. The bottom lane, like Freak said at the start of the day, is kind of the ones who seem a little bit left out, but they seem to be holding up right now.
A win over NRG is a good first step on the road towards making it to playoffs for Team EnVy. With our first 2 series in the books, we can go ahead and update the standings before the remainder of our games this week. Congratulations to TSM and Team EnVy on their wins today, placing them at the top of the hill. Now the rest of the pack sits just behind, with today's losing teams CLG and NRG at the bottom of the table. That brings us to tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll see which teams will get on the board with a win, so make sure to find your way back to us for more games and the first glimpse of the new NALCS dual stream format. So again, a reminder, on NALCS 1, you can see C9's match with Immortals and Team EnVy playing Liquid in the Battle Arena, while over in the Battle Theater, we'll feature games between Echo Fox and Phoenix 1, followed by Apex against NRG. Now you can find those matches on the NALCS 2 stream, rather. And of course, before we sign off, the sporting world suffered a great loss tonight as boxing legend Muhammad Ali passed away. Ali was an inspiration to sporting fans around the world and will be dearly missed. Rest in peace, champ. Now for myself, the casters, and the entire broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.